Hello, Cecil County and the world, and welcome to 30 at 6 on Cecil TV. Tonight is July the 8th, and a happy birthday to my little sister, Laura Lane, who will soon be in town and hopefully going to go down to the Cecil County Fair down at Fair Hill. We're going to talk all about the fair tonight. One thing I should mention, other than the upcoming fair, which we'll talk about, is that the Northeast fireworks occurred last weekend. You'll see a clip of that on Cecil TV tonight. Want to announce that there's music on Main in Elkton on the 11th. Old Time Farm Day starts at the fair on the 19th. Blackberry Bash Harvest Party on the 20th at Milburn Orchards. Now, I don't know if that's where they stomp on the blackberries, like making grape wine. I don't know. You might wonder where Allison Donnelly is tonight. Well, I've been told that she's working on her top secret entry for the Cecil County Fair. So hopefully next week she'll have more on that. And now, without further ado, let's take our tractor and drive over to see April Barczewski. Welcome to 30 at 6.
Hi, Rob. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're quite welcome. I'm going to park this because I heard you're a red tractor person.
That's okay. Okay, so I am the 4-H Youth Development for the Cecil County 4-H program, and our Cecil 4-Hers have been busy since last year preparing for the fair. Our 4-Hers meet year-round, learning about a variety of project areas, and our youth do everything from crafts to food, gardening, engineering projects, shooting sports, and animals, everything from small pets to rabbits to horses and livestock. The 4-H program age range is youth ages 5 to 18 as of January the 1st of the current year. Our clovers are age 5 to 7. And
didn't you say, excuse me for interrupting, but didn't you say you have a little daughter who's a clover?
Yes, I have a daughter who's a first-year clover.
And what's her name?
Her name is Ella.
Hi, Mommy, and I say hi, Ella. All right, it's great to be on TV.
Okay, so what she's going to be entering in the fair this year, she's completed 10 clover projects at club and 4-H activities that she'll be entering in the indoor building. And she is also going to participate in the Clover Show and Tell, and potentially she's going to be participating in the Pretty Animal Contest at the fair. And she's also going to borrow some animals and do Pee-wee showmanship.
What is that again?
Pee-wee showmanship.
Pee-wee showmanship.
So they go in with an older 4-H member that helps them lead an animal around the ring. So
like a mentor.
Like a mentor, yes. So basically they go in, they circle, they get a cute little ribbon, and then they go on out. That's
awesome.
But our 4-H members had to be enrolled by May the 1st in order to participate in the fair. And that's when they needed to decide what project areas they wanted to carry. And then in June, if they were doing animal projects, they had to have their animal registration cards in. And most of their youth attended an animal project orientation for the fair. And July 1st was a big day for our 4-Hers because they had to register their entries for the fair via the new online system that the fair has. So this was the first year that we had an online system. So we've moved into the 21st century now with doing online entries, and we're saving lots of paper there.
That's good.
So currently, hopefully our 4-Hers are either scrambling or putting their finishing touches on their projects. They're planning their displays and exhibits for the fair. In addition, they're working with their clubs, doing a variety of club projects from booths to banners to decorating trash cans with their club name on it, or doing a decorated billboard.
The trash cans at the fair that we'll be using are decorated by the 4-Hers.
By the different clubs, yes. And some of those trash cans have been around for about 15 years. We did get new donations of new trash cans because the others were pretty beat up. They're used on the fairgrounds throughout the year for different events and activities. In addition, some of our clubs are preparing for the float parade, which is held on Thursday evening during the fair. So you can ask our 4-Hers a variety of questions about their projects, and they'll be glad to answer those questions. And throughout the fair, some of our 4-Hers have signed up for various demos and presentations. But the fair really gears up on the 18th for our 4-H, 18th and 19th for our 4-H members, because our club entries are received on Thursday, the 18th, And then our home arts entries are also received that evening, as long as it's not perishable items such as cookies or cakes. But on Friday evening and then Saturday morning, we take in our home arts and farm and garden entries at the fair, and they're judged on Saturday afternoon. And then the farm and garden building opens after judging, but the home arts building takes a little bit longer to open, so it will not be open until Sunday.
I think we were in that building. Doug Donnelly and I were there last year, and I think we went in the building with all the pickles and all the stuff like that.
Yes, there are a variety of different things that you'll see there, anything from crafts to woodworking to jams and jellies, breads, cookies,
Now, Doug
photography.
Doug wanted me to ask you specifically. He wants to know how a person might become a judge, like judging the cookies and stuff like that.
Well, our home arts chairperson has already contacted previous judges, but if you like cookies, she periodically adds new cookie judges, but after tasting the 30th or 40th chocolate chip cookie, you will be tired and sick of chocolate chip cookies. So, you might start as the cookie monster going yum, yum, yum and eating all the cookies, but you end up just taking a little niblet of the cookie at the end. When you get on your last cookie.
But yes, somebody's got to do it.
It's a tough job, and a lot of times it seems to be one of the hottest days of the year, and you're in there eating the cookies and baked goods, cakes, and items like that. So most of our 4-H animals arrive on Saturday the 20th at the fair, and every day there's a different animal show at the fair. Saturday and Sunday are our 4-H English horse shows. Our 4-H dressage and combined test and jumper show takes place on Tuesday, and our Western horse show, 4-H Western horse show, takes place on Friday. On the first Saturday, the 20th is the poultry show. The 21st is a rabbit show and a dairy goat show. Monday is the meat goat show. It's also Children's Day that day, and we normally entertain about 500 kids that come to visit the fair that day. And then Tuesday is a busy day for 4-H because it's the sheep show and the swine fitting and showing in the evening. And then Wednesday is our livestock shows. Our swine, beef, and dairy steers are judged that day. Thursday is our dairy show. And Friday is the pet show, when we get everything from snakes to birds to cats, dogs, and anything in between. I'm still waiting for that pet rock to show up at the fair for the pet show.
Know.
You never know. And then
no worms, though, right?
No worms that I'm aware of. I've had a toad in the past. We've had a toad exhibited. And then Saturday is the dog show. Also on Friday evening is the livestock auction, where our 4-Hers that raise market animals sell their market projects if they wish. Throughout the week of the fair, there's various engineering events and demonstrations that are taking place. So starting on Sunday, we have our welding demonstration that takes place. Monday is our computer and electric contest. On Thursday is our small engines and lawn tractor events, where the kids drive through different obstacles. And then Friday is our large tractor driving contest, where the 4-Hers actually have to back a manure spreader or a wagon between cones and obstacles.
Backing up is never easy.
No, it is not. Not with the big tractor. On the first Sunday of the fair, in the afternoon, is our 4-H fashion show. Our fashion review has already been judged, but our 4-Hers that participated in that contest will be showcasing some of the outfits that they either made or purchased. And the final Saturday of the fair is another busy day. Besides the dog show, we have the pretty animal contest, the Clover show and tell. And the Clover show and tell. In the pretty animal contest, 4-Hers write a 100 to 150 word narrative, and they decorate themselves and their animals up into a costume to match that narrative. Following that, we have our award ceremony, where we recognize all of our participants. And then after that, this year, we're going to add a few games for the 4-Hers to participate in that the Junior Fair Board has been working on. So, like I said before, ask our 4-Hers various questions about their projects, and they'll be glad to answer those questions.
Let me ask you, April, as 4-H coordinator through the Department of Extension, the fair is obviously kind of like the crowning jewel of your activities. What do you and the 4-Hers do the rest of the year?
The 4-H program is busy throughout the year. In January, our 4-Hers turn in their record books from their previous year 4-Hers that participate in the herdsman contest and participate in like the livestock auction and the horse shows are required to complete a record book. So they will complete a summary about what they've learned in 4-H and what they've done, but they'll also keep records about what their animals ate and what they've learned, how much it cost for that different project. So basically from record books, we want kids to learn to keep accurate records, and we want them to realize that even though they receive a premium check from the fair, that their parents are investing in them with their animal projects and even food projects, clothing projects, all of that their parents are investing in them.
And I know this is very important. Land preservation, by the way, is very important too.
Yes.
And preserving our rural lifestyle in today's world sometimes includes, as you said, incorporating computers and record keeping, a lot of stuff that people don't think about. I know when I buy eggs from a local farmer, I give them the money and they write down something in a little book just to keep records. It's important, huh?
Right, it is important, but our 4-Hers are busy throughout the year attending workshops, programs, attending club meetings, learning about a variety of different topics that they're interested in. But the fair is the highlight for most of our 4-H members. But in August, some of our kids go to 4-H camp. Some of them even go on to participate in the Maryland State Fair.
Wow.
Where they'll either compete in judging, quiz bowl. Throughout the year we have quiz bowls, we have judging to test kids' knowledge about different project areas. We have judging where they pretend that they're looking at 4 different animals and pretending that they're the judge and making decisions, and then they have to give oral reasons justifying why they placed a set of animals that way. So most of our judging contests occur during the Maryland State Fair. So kids can do anything from horticulture judging to dairy judging or livestock judging at State Fair.
If a kid wants to join 4-H, how do they contact you? How do they do that?
They contact us, and then we send them a list of the different clubs located throughout the county. We have 23 clubs currently, active clubs in Cecil County. They can contact us, and we tell interested families to check out the different clubs because they might click better with one club over another, just depending on interest. We have some that are project-specific clubs, such as horse clubs, and then we have some general interest community clubs where they touch upon a variety of different topics.
So contact Maryland Department.
The University of Maryland Extension,
Okay,
Cecil
very
County
good.
program.
And the fair again runs from the 19th to the 27th?
Yes, and come out and check out all
Motor
of
on
our
down
4-Hers.
or ride your horse.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming out tonight, taking time to, as we approach our Independence Day, to remember those men and women of our armed forces who made this possible, who continue to allow us to celebrate Independence Day each and every year. We appreciate you coming out.
Almighty God, be with us as we come together this evening to pay tribute to those who have served and those who are serving in our armed forces. We're grateful for their dedication and commitment and the countless selfless acts they have performed and the sacrifices of their families so that we might continue to enjoy freedom. We thank you for their service to our nation. We thank you for their
And I know this has been a tradition in this county, and it's one of the reasons why I chose that this was the place to be tonight to help you celebrate all those who serve and to celebrate this great nation of ours. It's a wonderful privilege to be invited to speak with you tonight, and as you might know,
Good evening and welcome back to 30 at 6 on Cecil TV. I'm Hannah Rodenbaugh here at the Northeast Community Park with Commander Williams and Chief of Staff Dinterman out of Westminster. Commander Williams, what does this event mean to you?
Oh, it means a lot. Welcoming home the veterans, supporting our veterans, and all the veterans organizations in the state of Maryland. We need the support.
Chief of Staff Dinterman, what is the significance of Independence Day for you?
It means the honoring of the veterans that went before me and the ones that are now and the ones coming before me again.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Hannah Rodenbaugh. I'm here with Dave Hayes from Hogs and Heroes Foundation. Tell us a little bit about your organization.
Okay, we're a charity organization, 501c3. Our mission is to help out our veterans, current military, police officers, firefighters, EMTs, and their families. We raise money and to help them in any way we can.
And what brings you to the event today?
I'm a veteran myself, and this is just a salute to all the veterans that served in the past and the ones that still serving today, and it's just an honor to give them the respect and gratitude that all veterans deserve.
Thank you.
And now, Cecil County in the world. Let's give a big 30 at 6 welcome to director, screenwriter, and actor from Harford County, Leif McCurry. Yes. Leif, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here, Rob.
So, you've been doing this for a while, and you have a current oeuvre, as it is,
Sure.
with a Latin name. See how I worked that in there?
Yeah, it's great.
That's French, I think. But what is the name of your film that's coming up?
It's peccatum. It's the Latin word for sin.
And it's a horror film.
It is a horror film. It is a psychological horror film based around the 7 deadly sins, hence the name. So it takes place in the 1940s at a traveling carnival. Kind of chaos ensues, and the entity of the 7 deadly sins works its way into the 7 main protagonists of the film, and kind of goes up through there.
Carnivals are always kind of like have a spooky
Exactly.
undercurrent.
So that's kind of what we're hoping comes through with the score. We're doing a lot of really involved score work. I have a great audio engineer who's doing a lot of really awesome work, and just kind of portray that creepy vibe all the way through.
It would be perfect if people could see this around Halloween.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Is that working
Yeah,
out?
that's what we're right on track. We're about 3 months out, and that's right. Halloween's right around the corner, so we're hoping that we'll be premiering at Harford Community College around Halloween time this year. So, and that'll be just over a year of completion and work. So.
And that's kind of where your roots come from, Harford Community College.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was a theater performance major there. And I've done a lot of stage work for them. I've directed, probably about a dozen live stage performances with them, and I've been an actor in just about as many. So,
we were talking earlier. You said you started acting at 4?
Yes.
What did you start at 4 as?
Well, it was church plays. So
Okay.
I would be in the Passion Play at church or something along those lines, and it branched over into my wanting to be doing that kind of stuff after school. So in middle school, I was actually in Music Man. I was Harold Hill in The Music Man. That was my first major role, and the love just grew from there. I've never looked back.
Leif, one thing has really been puzzling me.
Sure.
You're a director, you're a screenwriter, and you're an actor. What exactly are the nuts and bolts of a director's function?
I think a lot of people would answer that question differently. For me, directing stage is completely different than it would be directing a film. You are worried about on a film anyway. You're worried about the angles. You're worried about is everything on screen continuity-wise. You have to be thinking wearing a lot of different hats. Even though you have a team behind you, you still have all of those hats to wear. And at the end of the day, it's your call. And with this film in particular, we had a lot of rehearsals leading up to it because I really wanted the actors, my background coming from stage direction, I really wanted the actors to understand the motivations of their characters. I really wanted them to get across the nuances that were going on in their minds and their characters' minds. Sometimes it's really intimidating when you come onto a set and you see all the lights and you see the camera and you've never really been behind a camera before, in front of a camera, excuse me. And that can really set some people off, and I wanted to make sure that wasn't going to happen. We were going to go in as prepared as we could be, and I feel like we accomplished that very well. So,
let me just ask you this, because you got me thinking about the carnival thing.
Yeah.
A lot of carnivals have people that are a little sketchy and a little edgy and like that.
Yep.
Are there any Are there any like good folks in the carnival that might be in your film?
I think
like regular type people.
Sure. Yeah. No. I think there are good people in every carnival.
Right.
But I totally understand what you're saying. There is the element, like in this, we have like a lizard boy who has a skin deformity, and there are the Siamese twins that are conjoined at the hip, things of that nature. But I will say that there are good people no matter where you go, and I feel like that is prominent in this film as well. It is about the 7 deadly sins, but it's also about the kind of the human determination to oversee that and to come out on top.
Yeah, that sounds great. But traditionally, I've always thought of carnivals as a good place for like the workers, the guys putting up the tents, criminal elements.
Oh,
kinda like
sure.
to hide out. And
Go
from town to town.
Yeah, that is definitely an element to this in our storytelling and kind of the business of the traveling carnival, moving from town and being ephemeral and not having to be stagnant in one area. You know, you can really move from place to place, and that allows them to kind of get away with some stuff that maybe they shouldn't be allowed to get away with. So I definitely tried to work a little bit of that kind of, on the road vibe in a lot when we were writing. So
great. Well, we're glad to have you on the show, and we're glad that this film seems to be working out. It's a horror film, Pacatoon.
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 Yeah, with an M. With an M. Yep.
Okay, deaf with a D.
Yes.
So, what's your next effort going to be?
Well, that's a great question. I've kind of branched off into looking at more like a podcast type deal. I really like the idea of like comedic podcasts and being involved with your audience on that level, on an audio level, being able to portray different characters and not necessarily have to have a visual in front of you. It's kind of like having a book read to you, where you get to imagine everything out in front of your mind, and it's not necessarily put out everything for you. You got
like the old 20s and 30s and 40s radio shows.
Yes, exactly. And I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I would want to, have a comedic plays that are spoken about. We do a little bit of the history on the play, and we just kind of read some of the funny excerpts as well.
Well, there doesn't ever seem to be the well is bottomless for what people want for entertainment.
Oh, for sure.
And stuff like that. So I'm sure there's a market for that, and I'm thinking that at Hartford Community College, you'll let us know when the play is.
Of course.
When the film comes out.
Yeah. Oh, you guys will know for sure. Yep.
And I'm hoping that we can cover that, and maybe we can show some little bits of it on Cecil TV.
I would love that. Yeah, that would be great. So yes, as soon as we have it.
Prior to, so that you could pump it up.
That is also a great idea.
That's a great idea.
We will definitely be in contact with that, and I'd love to have you guys get some access. That'd be great.
Well, good luck getting the film together.
Thank you so much.
And in all your endeavors, and please come back and see us again.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate it.